Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for December 27th, 2020. 2020. I hope everybody had a great holiday, enjoyed their Merry Christmas with their family, as many as they could. This week was light in the news simply because of the holiday. That doesn't mean there's no news. Lots of stuff going on, including a HasLab Unicron update. We're going to talk about all this coming up. First off, talking about some stuff at Show Z. The Hound KO is updated with fresh pictures. You get to see what this guy looks like, and he looks really good. This is supposed to be exactly the same as the Takara. We're all hoping a better, stronger plastic. We don't know anything about that just yet. It doesn't say anything about using any die cast in it either, so it's all plastic, just like Takara. A lot of people were hoping for a little bit of die cast, maybe to strengthen this thing up. Still a great looking figure and looks great in both modes. I mean, I think this is an awesome figure. Just wish it wasn't so brittle, and that would be a much better figure. The KO could be better than the original. It is a possibility, but again, we don't know yet. We don't know about the quality of it. Now, one thing that really does strike me as odd is they're using pretty much the exact same type of box. So that's kind of odd there, that they're using that box. It's not a brown box special, so I really don't know. I don't really have a good explanation for that because most of the KOs have gotten away from using official boxes. So a bit curious on that one. We'll see how this thing turns out when it comes out. But it's coming in stock soon at Show Z. Another thing that is coming in stock soon at Show Z is the official version of RC. Now I'm going to tell you, I actually ordered mine from Amazon Japan. I got it about $10 cheaper than Show Z at Amazon Japan. I'm disappointed in Amazon Japan because I thought it was going to be closer to 120 and they billed me for 134. I did not like that at all. So I've got to look deeper into why they billed me for so much more when my original expectation was 120. But I'm supposed to have it in like 5 days, so maybe I'll have it Wednesday or Thursday. It would be great. I'd like to take a look at this figure, but it is coming in stock pretty much anywhere that you ordered it pretty soon. And also showing up all over is the beloved X-Transbots trailer. So if you decided to stick it out, pay the crazy amount of money for this thing, I am going to get it. I am going to review it and take a look at it. But if you've decided to stick it out, start looking for it because it's going to start coming in stock soon. So we've got some interesting pictures of the DX9. I guess it is the end of that name and moving into some new names. But the DX9 drag strip, the G2, it does kind of concern me if someone's in on the G2 set that they're changing the name and all this stuff's going on. Will they completely go through with it again and just call it something else? Will we see all of the other figures, all of the recolored G2 versions coming out? Or are we just going to have to have them with a different name for the remainder of that? I don't know the answer to that one, so that's kind of interesting there. But I have to admit that it does look pretty good. I haven't even gotten the standard one in yet, but I believe they piggyback production runs. And I know X-Transbots does that, so it looks like DX9 just did that. So like when they were done with the standard, they just started revving them up and started putting them out with some black plastic and went to the G2. Does look pretty good. I do like the contrast of the black and the gold, and of course that has to do with the original G2 color scheme, and they're just carrying that in. Here it is in the alt mode, and again it does look good too. I think DX9 did a great job. I mean, their set looks good all around. I'm really not disappointed in anything with that set so far. So we got some gray prototype pictures of the TFC Toys S04 Lucifer, their G1 version of Cutthroat, and it is of course a stylized version of this combiner here, and he does look pretty interesting. He does look pretty good, and I think that the figure is a little bit smaller because it is of course TFC. But here it is in his alt mode, and of course with the stylized mode, it still looks pretty good. I still kind of like the way it looks there. I don't know who else in on this set, but it is interesting to see TFC Toys still in the game. TFC Toys is also putting out pictures of their STC-02 Dominator Megatron. Now, we looked at this already last week, but it was a real fuzzy picture, bad angles. This is a much better picture, and we can see both of the alt modes in it. It is a triple changer. It's also based off of the G.I. Joe crossover, so that's pretty cool here. Looking at this, it's going to have helicopter mode, and there it is in the helicopter mode, so that looks pretty interesting right there. And then, of course, We also have the tank mode, so there is the tank mode. And it's just kind of something that, like, why is TFC Toys doing a G.I. Joe crossover? Well, they can, and it looks cool. I guess kind of like what they did with their Rolling Thunder. I don't ever even know anything about this thing here, but it does look pretty cool. I think they already put this Rolling Thunder out, right? We're seeing some colored pictures of a color prototype of the Firmament from Kane Toys, and this thing should be coming out soon, hopefully. It does look beautiful. It's a nice looking bot there, and seeing as how this is going to play a big role in, of course, the combined mode with those wings, I really like how well they did the paint. So great pictures they're putting out here. Here it is in the bird mode, in the alt mode, and that looks good. That works. It's passable. Again, it is stylized, but I really think that this set is one that could be stylized. I mean, the fact that Predaking looks the way he does, he's not all blocky and squared off. He's a bit rounded. This works really well, and I think this looks good. Here's the arm mode, and it works really well as an arm mode. So, figure this is going to be a pretty solid set once it's combined. It's shaping up really well. So we got pictures from Transformer Movie Toys TMT-02 and TMT-03. And these are some prototypes of what's going to be two different Bumblebees, a Cybertronian and then a Camaro Bumblebee. And so they do look pretty cool. I know I made a video trying to keep all of these Bumblebee movie characters and live action movie figures straight and all the companies straight. So this one's a new one since then, of course. There it is with the Camaro. Camaro looks pretty good. You do see a lot of the lines in it. I don't know how much the paint, once it's painted and all of that. And of course, they're going to work on it some more. So this is just a prototype. But how many smoothness they can do with the lines there and make it look a little bit better. I bet you it will look better as we see more and more color prototypes. Here are some renders that do not show those gaps or the gappiness in the Camaro. So on the right you see the Camaro, in the middle you see the standard Bug, and then there's Cybertronian mode on the left there. So they got a lot of stuff coming, a lot of stuff in the works, so it'll be interesting to see how well this third-party company shapes up. We got color pictures of Toy World's version of Jefffire, and this is the movie Jefffire. He's colored a little bit different, so I'm sure they're making a multitude of different colors of this, but this one is called Skyburst. He does turn into a giant battleship and looks pretty cool. I don't know if it's exactly giant. This is supposed to be Studio Series scaled, so it's not supposed to be Masterpiece scaled, but it does look pretty good, and it is sort of a Masterpiece quality. It does look really good with the paint job. It does come with a stand, so if you want to make it stand like it's a model battleship, that looks pretty cool too. So we're also getting to see some of 3Zero's colored pictures of the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime Deluxe version. Now this of course is not transformable, and everything they make looks really good. This thing's actually going to be on for pre-order on the 29th overseas. I don't know if you're in the US if you can order that. I don't really know how that's going, but anyway, it's still pretty cool. It's big. I don't know that these sell out, that it would be that urgent to get it, but maybe it is. We've talked about the 15 shades of Galvatron with New Age, all the different colors, but of all these, I like this EX version, the deluxe version that they're making. It is priced $10 more because of the extremely premium paint job that this guy is going to get. Now, they all get painted relatively well, but this one is just over the top. Looks really good, but again, you're going to be paying $10 more for the paint job, and I guess you get a little bit extra accessories to go with it. Also, the clear version, I haven't really shown any pictures of the clear version, but the clear version makes for a great transformation from Megatron to Galvatron, and it does look pretty good. If you're into the clear, here it is. Transitioning to some main line news here, I did find some interesting stuff here. I was playing around on Brixie, and it turns out that you can look up any individual character for any Walmart or Target or whatever, but with Walmart having $10 deluxes, and you show up to Walmart's with no deluxes on the shelves at all, you want to start looking around through Brixie. That might help you find a figure you're looking for and snag it for $10 and show up at the right Walmart if you have a bunch around you, or if you do like I do, go on road trips and stuff. So I was able to snag these all for $10 each, which was great. It was awesome. these are some troop builders, these Alicons, and the thing is, they're not all out on the floor. For whatever reason, they're in the back room or whatever. Holidays are crazy, so Brickseek's usually pretty close. If it says there's 6+, they're somewhere around in that store, so you might want to ask somebody for some help. I also thought it was crazy seeing these guys here. We've got Double Dealer and Optimus Prime, $25 on clearance at $25. Just, it seemed like either Christmas Eve or the day after Christmas, somewhere in there, they just clearance these bad boys down half price, and that's awesome. I do want to admit that Optimus Prime Earthrise, still, to me, out of everything, I think is the best transforming Optimus Prime in the main line that they've done so far. And of course, the one that they're doing, it's like $40, and that one's going to be with the War for Cybertron, based on the show. But this is a good mold. Hasbro dropped a lot of pictures about packaging, and I do want to talk about this. This is the Ectotron reissue that's going to be with the Afterlife Ghostbusters. And the thing about this is that it's on a blistered card now. So it's not in a box. It's not like a G1 style box. It's a blistered card. I don't know. Does it come with a comic book IDW in there? So it comes with something in there. It looks pretty cool. But I do prefer the box. I would rather have the box than a blistered card. But on the flip side, you're getting another shot at this figure yet again for like the third or fourth time. So I guess there's no real reason to complain about it. So we got a Studio Series here, and this one is the Bumblebee. They got a packaging picture for Studio Series Bumblebee. There it is. I thought we got one of these already, but anyhow, it's kind of cool. So I got a picture of this guy here, and then we also have pictures of the next Red figure. So we've got in package of the Red RC from Prime, and so that's what that's going to look like. Not bad at all. And we got pictures of Red Cheetor. So there it is. And again, I'm curious how these are compared to what we saw with the G1s. Looks like we got a little bit more metallic paint on both of these figures for the second series of Red. Kind of interesting. Also, more packaging of the Walmart exclusive retro Headmasters, and it's just repackaged Titan Returns, but still, here they are. This is highbrow. Really looks reminiscent of the G1 packaging, so that's really the selling point here. I just wish they would have done this all along. I mean, why is this now a gimmick to resell old figures? But it's a gimmick that might work. It actually looks really good. I mean, I didn't like the idea at first, but seeing this is going to be kind of hard. And there is Weird Wolf. Looks good. Looks good. I mean, I know Weird Wolf is still a pretty low-priced figure, so it's going to be tough to pay $20 for a figure you can still get somewhere else for $10. So speaking of in-package pictures, we're seeing Kingdom. Kingdom is showing up, and it's not, I don't think it's in the States just yet, but it's starting to show up in places, and it's going to be very, very soon. We see them locally, and it's interesting. They're not going to come in time to get any of these holiday sales. I'm sure the SKUs are all different anyway, so I was always kind of curious when they switch over from one like Earthrise to Kingdom, like that whole time frame right now. We're in that right now where they're switching it over, so we're going to see a bit of a delay and then start seeing this stuff showing up in droves. And wave one is usually the one that hits the hardest. So with Kingdom, we're seeing more pictures of Air Razor, which should be coming down the line in Kingdom, but I think she looks really good. I'm pretty impressed with this figure. I'm actually pretty impressed with pretty much everything Earthrise. And moving into Kingdom, what they've done with Kingdom, it looks good too. Here she is in her flight bird mode, and I don't think she comes with a flight stand, but there she is. She looks pretty good in both modes. And then with her wings spread out, I think this is how I would display her. I mean, I would always display her with her wings out, not tucked back, but I think this looks really good in this mode, in both modes. I'm sure the transformation is pretty simple too. It's not really that challenging of a figure. So we have gotten some update number 4 for the HasLab Unicron, and the thing is that they're going kind of behind the scenes and showing us what's going on with the reliability engineer Lee, and then the packaging engineer co-op Aurora, and a couple of the things that they were doing in this update and the things that they were talking about. and it has to do with making sure that the joints move at the right tolerance and that kind of stuff. And they used all kinds of different meters and all this stuff to gauge how well it's moving. They want it to be the smoothest, most fluid type of movement that they can and not make you break. But you look at this, the color looks so much better on this picture than we've seen with some of the past pictures. So it does look a lot closer to the movie. They have been working on that. That is the feedback that they've gotten. So they are trying to get it make it look more orange than yellow. But as you can see, like, part of it is more yellow than the other part is a little more orange. As you can see, they're still working on it. It's a work in progress. And of course, this is like the third or fourth version of their prototype they've been working with. Now, they had a few videos talking about drop tests and all this kind of stuff. So they did do drop tests on it to make sure that the packaging was going to hold up to delivery. And I have to say, I think they went a little bit past standard delivery measures, which is good. That's what they need to do. Of course, this is behind the scenes stuff. I wonder how deep they go into this with like standard products, with deluxe figures. Do they do this with all of their product, or is this just something they do with a higher end products with a bigger price tag? I mean, we want to protect a $650 item, or is it? Do they do this with everything? It'd be kind of interesting to know that, but it's kind of cool to see the behind the scenes what's going on here. And lastly, in the Transformers world here, I want to talk about these vintage figures, these reissues. 30 was a good price for Blaster, but he didn't sell well, it looks like. There's hundreds of these out there, probably still on shelves, getting clearance down. I saw 3 or 4 different prices, as low as $20.50 or something, to the standard $22.88. I don't know where they're getting their price percentage drops here, but it's less than a third, so it's around a quarter off there. That does look like it's going to get cheaper and cheaper like they all do, which it's good and it's bad. I mean, I'll probably pick up a couple when they hit $9 or something, but I want this to keep going on. I wonder how many of you really want them to keep going on with G1 figures or just quit it altogether. Transitioning into some Star Wars news, I do want to say that this is the week that the Hasbro Pulse shipped out this G.I. Joe Cobra Commander, and it's the Regal variant. Now, there's a few things I want to say about this Regal variant. First off, I like the color of it more than the one that was the standard release. This should have been the standard release, and then the darker one should have been the Regal variant. And guess what? That's what they told us up front. So I did order both because I didn't know what was going on. And I felt confused about G.I. Joe half the time, and I feel really confused about Star Wars and Black Series and Vintage Collection all the time right now because of all the stuff going on with Star Wars. So this is kind of how I feel here. But I do want to say something about G.I. Joe entirely, and I believe that in 2021 Hasbro is going to put out a ton of product for G.I. Joe, and it's going to be a lot easier to get than it was in 2020. And I think that's because they had a kind of a lukewarm reception is what they expected from this. They didn't expect it to be G.I. Joe welcomed with open arms and everybody coming out of the woodwork wanting to collect it. I mean, non-Joe collectors are coming out of the woodwork to collect these things. So that's what made it so hard. We're going to see it just a tidal wave of figures coming in 2021. So we're starting to see this Quill Black Series figure show up at retail at Target. This wave also includes the Grief Karga, and I think this one also is the one that comes with the Moff Gideon. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know that the Grief Karga is with this one here. But the funny thing is that these are showing up at Target already, and a lot of the pre-orders, they won't be filled for months and all of this. Target's getting stuff super early, and it's kind of surprising. The issue is the fact that they're getting even this archive wave now. And the archive wave at Target, for whatever reason, is street dated. Now, I had no idea that archive figures that have already been released are street dated. I've never heard of this before. Doesn't make sense to me. How can there be street dated figures that are all reissued? They've already been made before and issued before. So talking with the guy at Target that wouldn't sell them to me, I'm understanding that it's a mistake at corporate that they can't override. They got to wait for it. And they got to go through processes to get to sell it. Sounds like a lot of trouble for something that's already in the store, products in the store 4 months before the expected release date, which it's impressive that they got it that fast. How are they getting this stuff this fast? But I would have liked to have had it, got it in my hands, but I couldn't. Hasbro Postal starting to ship the Jar Jar Binks. Mine should be on my way to me. I guess I'm excited. I'm not really so into the prequels, but I figured I'd get one of this guy just for the heck of it. It'd be kind of fun to have him. But he's on his way, so a lot of things are moving. A lot of things are going to start coming in, and that's exciting. And all of these pre-orders that we've been waiting on, some of these pre-orders we've been waiting on for months, 6 months, I know those are going to start showing up very soon, hopefully. So this past week's Mando Monday, the big reveals, I can't tell you last time I've actually watched the Mando Monday stuff, but the big reveals coming out of it are, we're going to get this Boba Fett helmet again, and I only saw it once in a store. So they didn't make very many because they knew they were going to make another helmet, I guess. And this one's going to be more towards the Mandalorian and what we see in the Mandalorian, I guess. It does look pretty good. It looks just like a Boba Fett helmet to me. I think that what they're doing right now with the Black Series helmets and all this kind of stuff, it's really good. It's top notch. I mean, I'm happy with everything that I've gotten from them so far, so I like it, and I expect this to be a really good product also. Also, they're coming out with the Force FX Elite Dark Saber, and I know you've probably seen the toy one on the toy aisle for $30. This thing is $250 because, of course, it's Elite, and the Elite has a little bit more haptic feedback kind of stuff, I guess, going on with it when it goes to... I don't know. I don't have any of these Elites, so I don't know the difference between the standard ones I've had for a decade or more, decades, I guess you could say, since 2008, I think is when they came out with the lightsabers in the Masters replicas. So now I don't know how much better the Elite is. Is it worth almost another $100? I don't know. Well, I guess the standard ones now are even going for $215. Prices are going up, but this does look pretty cool, and it's going to be high end. Of course, have die-cast metal or some sort of metal in it, so it's going to feel really solid. And it's an interesting type of lightsaber because there's not another one just like it that has that dark part right in the middle. So it will be interesting to see. I don't know if it's quite for me or not, but it's kind of exciting. So the Amazon exclusive Black Series Biker Scout is, well, it's available for you to order. Usually ships within 1 to 2 months. That's interesting. Arrives January 26th. Well, these have been shipping out. They have been showing up. There have been reports of poor packing on Amazon's behalf, and these things getting beat up, smashed up. If you're an in-package collector, it's a game of Russian roulette with Amazon. Of course, you can return it and then reorder it, and it seems like it's not going out of stock anytime soon, but it is kind of a pain, I would think, to have to return it if you're an in-package collector like I am. So it is a bit of Russian roulette. Might be worth the trial and error of the game. It is a $50 set, so that's pretty expensive there, considering it was it was $40 back in the day, and now you get it with Baby Yoda and a slightly different paint, deco, and all that. But aside from it, the figure itself looks pretty good, the speeder bike looks pretty good, and the stand that it comes with, all that looks pretty good, slightly different, slightly updated, so you're not getting the exact same thing that we got the first go around. Let me know what you think about this week's weekly news in review. What else is going on out there that I missed, I failed to talk about? Because I really do want to know, what did you see in here that you really liked or really did not like? Like, subscribe, Type Hanger out.